Well, every parent wants to be wants the best for their kids, but the wacky world of child beauty pageants can bring out the worst in even the most loving of parents.
Yeah, according to a new US study, pushy stage parents will go to extremes to see their kids succeed because they're trying to make up for their own failed dreams. So let's take a look at how just some OTT stage mums perform. Tears, tantrums, and a bunch of pushy parents. While the kids are in the spotlight, behind the scenes it's all about the stage mums.
Pretty woman, walking down the street, pretty woman, the kind I like to meet.
This pageant princess may be pretty, but it's her mum making waves on the pageant circuit.
My name is Wendy, and I love living vicariously through my 3-year-old daughter, Paisley. Play a lot, Gaga. Need a little lesson? Need some piano lessons? If you're going to compete in a glitz pageant, you've got to tan. You can't show up looking like Casper, or you might as well just stay at home.
We need a real cigarette.
Miss Destiny's mum is not afraid to push her daughter and the boundaries.
You better come out with your hand on your hip and a cigarette in your mouth.
A big round of applause for Destiny.
It seems these pushy parents will stop at nothing to see their darling divas succeed.
That was boring. Yes, it was.
Okay, you messed up. You need to go in a circle right here.
That was lackluster, lady. I'm a very animated person, and I know that people think that I'm just crazy when I'm doing my routines. Are you ready for Sports Illustrated?
No, no Sports Illustrated.
I reckon we need a couple of pageant mums to keep us in line. Lackluster.
Yes.
Lackluster, Larry.
Yeah, because you need someone to check on your spray tan every now and again.
Obviously. So why do parents push their kids, and could you be guilty of it? Joining us now with more is parenting expert and author Dr. Justin Coulson. Good morning to you, Justin.
Good morning.
It's extreme. I mean, mums putting cigarettes in their children's mouths.
I had to cover my eyes.
I know. Do you think that stage parent stereotype is fair?
Well, stereotypes always have a kernel of truth, and some would always argue that some parents are really pushing their kids too far. I think that the examples that we've just seen are some pretty good examples of parents who are, living vicariously through their children. It's not about the kids. It's about mum and dad, and that's not healthy for the kids.
Is that it? Is that the big why are they doing that? Because just to get a little bit of something that they missed out on in their lives, perhaps?
Well, there's typically 3 reasons that parents push their kids. Number one, and it links in with this study that you're talking about from the US, parents, when they see their children as an extension of themselves, they actually feel like their children's role is to fulfill the ambitions that they never got to fulfill when they were young.
Right.
So that's quite unhealthy. The second reason that parents push their kids is competition and comparison, and this desire that their children will be enough. Now that's an understandable thing, but when our motive is just to make sure that our kids are enough, it's also not healthy, because no matter how hard we try, there's always going to be somebody better. In most cases. The third reason parents push their kids is because they really believe that if they push their kids are going to be better off, their kids are going to do better.
Right.
And in that case...
I can understand that.
Yeah, and
to some extent.
That can be healthy or it can be unhealthy depending on the way that we do it.
And the extremity of how far you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only natural for a parent to want the best for their child.
Totally.
That's how we're seeing it from the parent's point of view. Tell us about what impact that can have on a child.
Well, so long as we're not being too pushy, and so long as the child actually has some buy-in and wants to do it, then the impact shouldn't be too bad. It's actually just fine. But if the child doesn't want to do it, what we ultimately do is we undermine their autonomy. We say your choices, your decisions, what you want in life doesn't matter. I'm the boss, you'll do what I say. And that can lead to things like stress, it can lead to things like anxiety. In severe cases, it can lead to depression. Kids can be overworked and completely lose the capacity to make any decisions for themselves. It can be pretty stressful for them.
What are the warning signs? What are the things to look out for, apart from the obvious ones like having the spray tan system home delivered to your house and teaching your daughter ribbons in the backyard before breakfast? What are the other What are the other signs?
I think that the signs really, if the kids are really upset and they're just saying, no, I don't want to do this, and it's pervasive and ongoing, if they're exhausted because you're not giving them any downtime, because you're forcing them to sit at the piano or go out there and do dance practice or sport practice or whatever it might be, if they're getting depressed, or if they're just not doing well in anything, you know, schoolwork's suffering, friendships are suffering, relationships are going down the tube, then there's a good chance that they're not doing too well as a result of all this pushing in one particular direction.
All right, you need to give us some lines here between encouragement and being overly pushy. So some advice to parents.
It's a blurry line, isn't it?
Yeah.
When I think that what it really comes down to is if it matters more to me than it does to my kids, we've probably gone too far. If the kids just don't care, then don't push them. Listen to them. Make sure that they get a chance to be kids as well. I mean, let's face it, they're not going to be able to play and run around and do the crazy stuff that they do when they're sort of 6 to 12 years old, when they're 26. It's too late. So let them be children. Don't get caught up in comparison, because there's always going to be somebody who can do it better and there's always going to be someone who can do it worse. And I think more than anything, make sure that you take time to just be together as a family. Let them know that they're important as people rather than because they can do this better than anyone else.
And those tips are for everything. That's not just if your kid wants to be in the beauty pageant. That's for sport and for life.
And for music and
extracurricular
and even for school.
Important. Thank you very much for talking to us this morning.
Thank you, Justin, voice of reason.